the first class is values, right? So if you guys don't know what values is, it's basically how bright or how dark is something. So value is a way to measure how dark or how light something is, right? So usually we do from 1 to 10, 10 being the lightest, so full white, and 0 be like being full dark, full black, right? And between them, you have all of these values, right? So higher the value, lighter it is. Lower the value, darker it is, okay? And another thing that you guys have to keep in mind is that some people, they usually use this on the other way. So some people say lower value for light and high value for dark, but usually most of the people use like this. So high value for light and low value for darker, right? Also, some people use um, um, 10, 20. So instead of being here, being like 1, 2, 3, is 10, 20, 30, 40, and you guys understand? And other people also use percentage. So for example, 10%, 20%, 100%, right? But they're all right. But here on my class, you're gonna use 0 to 10 because I think this is the simple one, you know? So 0 being the darkest and 10 being the lightest, right? So when I say higher value, lighter, lower value, darker, okay? So now let's go to this thing right here. This here is from the next week, actually, which is physics of the light. But some people, they don't really understand that. So I bring a little bit on this class so you guys will not get confused, right? So, but this is from the next class. So if you don't understand today, don't worry, because I will explain deeper on the next class. So the thing is that objects, they have planes, right? So if you use a 3D software, you can see this on the 3D object. And this is important to you guys to understand how to render the shape, right? The object. So the first thing that you have to understand is that every plane has a direction. So here, if I got this plane right here, right? And his direction is this, right? And for example, this is another direction, and this is another direction, and this another direction. And then since there is a ball, the planes go more or less like this, right? So remember that every plane has a direction, right? More round the plane is, more round the object is, more planes have. So for example, a ball has more planes than a square because the ball is rounder, right? So I will show you guys. If I drew a cube right here, you can see really easily the planes 1, 2, 3, right? And then there are the planes that you are not seeing. That is from there, there, and below, right? But yeah, and last round, last plane. Again, on the cube, right here, you have less planes because it's less round, right? So now, and again, I was gonna tell you guys more on the next week. But now you guys have to sing with me. If you guys can sing, please sing with me. If you can't sing, um, it's okay, because yes, we know this. This is basically something that I tell all the class. This is basically that every plane change is a value change. This is like the basic um, um, phrase on the class. So I made a song, and so you guys sing with me. Don't need to turn the mic on. Just sing with me on your house. If you can sing, sing in your head. Okay, everyone ready? Type on the chat if you guys are ready to sing. You guys that are recording, sing with me as well. So it's basically like this. Every plane is change, is a value change. 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 Todo mundo. Everyone. Todo mundo is everyone in Portuguese. So again, everyone. Every plane is change, is a value change. 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 So basically, guys, every plane change is a value change. So every plane is change, every time the plane changes a little bit, you have a value change, right? So, and this is more on the next week, but just to say again, so plane is changing, then the values change a little bit. If the change is really hard, the values change a lot, right? Right now, we have to understand what is value change in nature and value change in art, right? So you have nature. What is nature is physics, right? So when a plane direction change, value change. So every whenever you have a plane change, you have a value change, right? So here, this is physics. Every plane change is a value change, right? So this is physics. Yes, that's good. That's good. You guys have to remember this for the rest of your lives. That's the best foundation ever. So also in physics, how strong is the light, right? So for example, it's basically what I talked to you, Will. If the light is stronger, you have more value change. If the light is less stronger, the value will change less. Same thing, it's a physical thing. Another thing is material. So for example, some materials like metal, they will have harder value changes. And some materials like cloth, they will have low value changes, right? So in physics, it's basically the direction of the plane, how strong is the light, and also how far and how strong is the light, also how far, right? And the material of the object. And that's physics, right? That's nature science. But then you have art value change, right? It's things that we artists can do to make our art better, which I gave for some of you on the feedback, which is composition. For example, if you want to bring the art of your viewer on some place, you use values to do that, right? And you also can simplify values to make stylized painting. So for example, some people, they do faces and they have really squared faces like this, right? And they use a lot of values to make that face really look like 3D. So like this. And they simplify the values. I will show you guys, don't worry. Right? So basically, this is art value change in art, right? Any questions or okay? So the value simplifying that I'm talking to you guys is basically like this. So here, you can simplify values on light and shadow when you are doing a painting. This is really good to avoid to your painting to look like how can I say, like mud, you know. So usually if you set up a light value and a shadow value, like when I say value, I say a place on the color or a place on the value scale, right? So here I use this for light and this for dark. This can help you to don't get really weird with a painting. Good night. So basically, if you have to do a value that is 4.8, you can transform into 5, right? This is really good if you want to have a more stylized painting. Again, like people from Riot Games, they do that a lot. But if you also are more realistic, dude, you can also do this as well, and it will help you a lot to simplify the value. So again, if you have to use a 3.7, you can go to 4, and thus making the value selection really easy. And also you can lock values, and I will talk about this later, but you can lock values for the light and values for the shadow. Okay, so basically avoid mixing values. Okay? Again, if you guys have any questions, you'll type it in. Now I'm gonna do an experiment with you guys, and some of you already saw this experiment, but it's basically I will do a square right here, right? Let me get a middle value here. Guys on the chat, what value is this? If you're gonna say from 0 to 10, so I need one value here, one value here, and one value here. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So say, for example, better, A, B, and C. So for example, say A, X value, X value, and B, X value, and C, X value. So for example, A1, B2, and C3. Basically, this is A, B, and C. So you say A for this square, and how much value do you think it is? 0, 1, 2. Let's suppose you think that it's 2. Then you say A2. So you guys, all of you, said that this middle value is 6, right? But again, that's if you compare with these two, it's kind of right. But what I want to show you is this, right? It's 6, right? Everyone agree with this? What happened now? Can you guys see? Yasmin, you know what it is, so don't tell. Are you guys able to see what happened? If you look on this square right here, the value that was 6 is lighter, right? And then the value here that was also 6 is darker, right? If I do this, I'll do something here so you guys will see this a lot better. Look at it. right? Why this happens is because values, you can only see a value if you compare with another value that is close to it. And a 9 will be more like this, maybe a little bit darker, maybe like this, right? But still a lot brighter than this. And here, now you can see how lighter this looks. Like this looks like pretty much like pure white, you know, but it's because it's on a darker background, right? And now by putting these lighter values close to it, to this become darker. It's because you guys are comparing with the values that are on the canvas, not all values. And that it's what matters. When using values, you have to compare the values that are on the painting, right? So a value is only a number if you compare with another value on the canvas, okay? That's really, really, really important. By understanding this, you guys can make use of this technique, which is called value key, which is basically when you lock, that's why it's called key, you lock a certain part of the value scale. So for example, here you have a lighter value key and a darker value key, right? Why? Here I simplify the paintings on these squares so I can show you guys. So basically this hand right here, it would be the lighter, the most light on this painting right here, right? This highlight here and this hand, right? So let me get this highlight is this, right? This value right here. That's is the darker, the lighters that is goes, right? But if I get something that is not a highlight, for example, the skin is like this, right? So let's put me like this. It's more or less his value right here. So that is the value of the skin, right? So this is the lighter value on this piece right here. So the most bright value on this piece right here, right? But then if I get to this piece with a lighter value key and I get this shadow, look how it is almost the same thing. Like if I get my color here, this is the light, one of the lights, the brightest parts on this painting, and this is one of the darkest. Look at it, right? So this is the darkest on this painting, and this is the lightest on this painting. So what they did is basically they lock the key. So for example, this painting right here probably has this key right here, right? While this other painting right here have a key like this, right? So keys that you guys can have is higher key, right? So lighter key or high key, right? Light or high key, low key or darker key, right? Medium key, that's basically is not neither the darker neither neither the darker neither the lighter. Is like a middle, so more or less like there here. So some people call mid tier, mid key, right? And full key, which usually is what you guys do. You know, probably beginners, they usually do full key. That is basically they use everything. And you can use these keys to show mood, right? So for example, if you want a piece that is more mysterious, you will go to the low key, right? If you want a piece that is more angelical, more brighter, more happy, usually you go to the high key. Of course, that can change, but usually is this, right? And mid is also a basic one together with full. They are usually to show middle thing, not the dark and not the light, right? So that's his value keys, and you guys can start practice these value keys. And now you guys can see their art and understand how it works. Okay? This is 10, this is 1. Got it? So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the same if you have the full thing right here. The difference is that here it will be a 10, and here will be on 1, and here will be a 10, right? Same thing. But here you just cut the value thingy, and then here comes your darkest, and here is your lighter. So here is 1, here is 10, right? And usually here is 1, and here is 10, right? Actually 0, right? Because there's 0 value and 10 value, right? So 0 to 10. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna explain to you guys the windmill principle. I don't know if it's called principle in English, but it's basically is windmill. It's not principle. Man, I don't know the word in English, but you guys understand. It's basically something that happens on painting, and it's not like a physical thing. Is actually from painting, right? So the windmill principle is basically a dude called James Gurney. You guys, some of you guys probably know him. He have the book Color and Light, right? That is, for me, one of the best, if not the best books on painting. And he was looking at a painting that he has on his living room. Of course, it's not the original painting, it's just a reproduction. It was a home run painting, right? And it is this windmill, right? So, and he was thinking about how this windmill is so cool, it's just a windmill. But it's such a nice painting. Why? Why this windmill is just a nice painting? And he realized something that was happening, and he named windmill principle, right? Again, I don't remember if it's principle, but if you type it in windmill and James Gurney, Gurney, you guys will get the actual name of it. But I think that is principle. Not sure. But okay. What he realizes is that you have the background and the figure, right? And by switching the relationship of the figure and the background, okay, she's right. So it's the windmill principle there. By changing the background and figure relationship, you change the mood. Not only the mood, but where you look on the piece. So here I have some windmill principles going on. So you have a variation, and when you look at it, you can see that you look to different places. Not only that, but they have different moods, right? depending on the relationship of the values, okay? And then he basically break down the Rambam painting, and our guys will teach you how he did. So basically, he realized something on the windmill thingy, right? This, I don't know the name, like this, right? He realized that some of it you can actually see, and some of it is actually hide. You know, you still can see, but it's a little bit hide. You know, it's like you don't pay too much attention to it. And basically, what he discovered is that when you put a high contrast or something, you usually go there. Your eye go there. And when you put a low contrast on something, your eyes don't go there, right? So basically, the Rembrandt do this on this painting. So the first thing here on the windmill, you can't really see, you can't really see because the background is dark and the windmill thingy is also dark, right? So the background is actually this thing from the windmill, and you have the windmill thingy that gets the wind right here. But if I take my line, you can see that you can't see that much. You can't see that much because it's a dark relationship. So dark slash dark, right? Then on the next windmill thingy that gets the wind, you actually can see, right? As you can see, it's really clear right here. Why? Because the windmill thingy is lighter and the background is dark, right? And when I say dark, it's not really dark. I mean, darker than the what's around. So for example, you can see here that it's darker than here and here, right? So the wind thing is light and the background is dark, right? Then remember, once you have contrast, which is something light with something dark, you create contrast, you create a tension. But then on the side of the light and dark, you have dark. So then you cancel a tension, right? Then you go to the next wind thing, and it's the same thing. The wind thing is light, and the background is light. So it's a light-like relationship, right? And here, same thing. Wind thing is dark, and background is light. So you get high contrast. And then, as you can see, where there's a high contrast, if you go on the color version here, your eyes go there. And where is low contrast, your eyes don't go there that often. Just your eyes just give a glance or something like that, And this is what makes this piece so good, even though it's a windmill, right? Again, physically, that's it's not a physical thing. It's not physics. It's not science, But you have to have this on your art so your art can look appealing, right? And I will show you guys this on other arts as well. You guys understand? Any questions? So you as an artist, if you do this, your painting usually will be better, because remember that painting is usually has to be better than pictures. So we fix pictures basically. So we fix pictures and our eyes. We make better, more appealing, right? So now you guys gonna do with me. For you guys that are watching the recording version, do in your home. So basically, I will point to a place right here on this paint bar zone, and you guys will say to me if what relationship it is. So dark, dark, light, dark. Remember, first goes the place, the figure, and then the background. So if the figure is dark, dark, and the background is dark, it's dark, dark. Okay. Figure meaning whatever it is. I mean, can be the person, can be a windmill, can be a car. In this case, is the old lady right here. So again, everyone, first relationship, what relationship is this? Everyone, please type on the chat, and you watching the recorded vision, answer this. Okay, remember, usually, I mean, is right and is wrong. Gabe actually was the only one that did correct. Because first of all, you have to define what came first, the figure or the background. Remember that I said the figure comes first and then the background. So the figure is light, right? And the background is dark. So it is light, dark. But if I said the background is first and the figure is second, then dark, light will be right. So, but remember, I said figure and then background, right? So you guys have to remember that I said first figure and then background. Again, it's not a rule. If you guys want to put background first and then figure after, is okay. But in this case, I said figure first and background second. So Gabe was right. Now, the second relationship, this. You guys can type in the chat. You guys at home, do as well. Exactly. Light, light. You know, the figure is light and the background is light. Okay. So again, here. Exactly. Dark, dark. Figure is dark. Background is dark. And the last one, let's be easy. The one that's left. Exactly. Dark, light. Figure is dark. Background is light. Got it? It's easy and simple. And again, if I show you guys how he use it. For example, right here, he wanted to hide this arm, right? So he used a dark, dark, and the arm is kind of hide on the background, okay? Because it's a low contrast. Remember, high contrast, you usually pay attention. Low contrast, not so much attention, right? But also remember that you have levels of contrast. Even though something is like light and dark, if you have something that is lighter and darker, usually you look there first, okay? So now, This guy is called Sergei Kolosov, Russian artist.